Hello again. So, last time stuff was happening. And then I had people visiting. And it was all sudden, like... Actually, come to think of it. Got two you know what? Try this. Don't have trajectory to check it, but this should be a winner right here. There's he. I was one shot away from winning. Alright, well there we go, there's the part right there. Yes, he will remember Steve. He will always remember Steve. Because Steve is coming for his title. There we go, we're already up to 10. That's not ideal. Oh well. Anyway, picked up Corpse Dancer, that seems fitting. I think Tier 2 fists are available. Yeah, they are. We got Tier 2 fists, what else do we... I know we don't have bows, I know we do have crossbows. What about sticks? Yeah, we got Tier 2 sticks. Alright, yeah. I'm sell some crap. We will never end up using. It ain't quite enough. Keep those around just in case. No. I have literally no reason to keep those around. Because even if I end up using sidearms, it's not going to end up being from those. I certainly won't be using that anymore. Grimoire Rocher always makes me think of those Frere Rocher candies. I don't know if I ever shared this story on those before. But there was this one time, so I used to be a violinist at one point. So I'm over at a class with my violin teacher, and my later discovered to be psycho mom comes over, and so she's like, okay, I have guests, so I'm gonna break out the candies. So she goes and she gets the candies, and well, she was an older lady. Apparently didn't know about those candies, is the thing. They had gone old. Not exactly old in the normal way, old in the Florida way. So, first bite that gets taken, a bunch of ants just start pouring out of this thing. At the time I was horrified, but man. Nowadays... hope she's choking on ants all the time. Oh well, one of those funny things that happens. You know what I just noticed? Rogues float, familiars don't. What's the deal with that? That's odd. Maybe they're very familiar with the ground. Oh well. Okay, moving on. Okay, no rando. I'm gonna think of it. I should probably go pick up some items here. And we do still have items as an option, so we'll pick up more of those, pick up more of those. Basically, pick up anything that's needed right now. Largely because later on I'll end up forgetting and not wanting to spend the money on it, and then lastly we're gonna get that. And on we go. Alright, April is a melee unit. Yeah, you know what? You can replace Crossback for one fight. Luke I'm not going to replace because I just want him to get ridiculous. I want one guy at least getting maxed out as soon as possible. Not necessarily maxed out, but at least getting rank 2 as soon as possible. Ideally rank 4, because I think that's still a multi-hitter. Yes, yes. Steve does not care. He does not have time for this. He's following the man in the shiny suit around in order to figure out where the bananas got hidden. I don't know. I guess he's looking for bananas now. He's a monkey. He's secretly a monkey war god fairy thing. I don't... whatever. Alright. Alright, Sistina, there's a very good chance you are not surviving this fight, because we are not going over to help you. I'm gonna speed up this early part, because it's literally just getting out of this corner. I don't like this map. I will say, that's one thing that KOL did a lot better on the map design, because it's very annoying to be... It's not... Okay, I should explain real quick. When you're starting off in a fight, I can understand the whole starting somebody at a disadvantaged position thing. That's all well and good. That happens a lot of them do it. It's fairly normal. But when you see annoying situations like this where literally people are just bouncing over each other because there's no space to actually move and you're supposed to go save somebody, it's just kind of annoying, you know? It's more annoying than challenging. Because usually people would just strip down at this point. Strip down and go save Sistina, but that's not gonna happen. Why are you so good? Alright, so we're gonna have a level advantage, so that's gonna keep the damage up for a while. Again, that's not gonna last long. It's only a minor advantage, again, not nearly as much as base game by far, but it's helpful. That's gonna drop off more and more and more until finally we get to the point where it's just negligible and we have to rely on other things. And I'm hoping to have their kiss moves by then. Maybe have them go do some concerts. It's funny because Kiss makes music, whatever. Moving on. I forgot to have him steal stuff again. I forgot that he's supposed to be mugging full-time. Trying to figure out who stole his Snapdragon. Snap. Can you make the shot? Nice. I love that they're basically sniper rifles now. Really curious to see what those super two-handers are going to look like. Now, it didn't quite happen with the first one, because they essentially ended up going through that first run and getting into Chapter 2 much faster than I actually expected. So hopefully this one will be able to get to around the point where the Iron Man run is before the next patch. Or even after the next patch. I just, you know, I'm looking forward to the next patch, is what I'm trying to get across here. Hell, I might even be out by the time this comes out, so who knows? I know there's all kinds of cool crap, and I know there's all kinds of crazy complications, because recently got introduced to some of the codes and stuff, whatever, on how all that goes, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit. Point being, oh my god, is it complicated. Like, modding this game appears to be just a downright... I have no idea how he does it. Like, we were talking memorizing and figuring out crap tons of codes, like hundreds, if not, I guess, thousands of codes, and then figuring out the equations for what causes them to affect what. I mean... It's crazy how much stuff is needed there. Oh, by the way, another funny thing I found out recently, just reading over some of the posts, apparently hammers and bows do the same damage. Apparently hammers inexplicably do pierce damage. I kind of wonder if that's part of why they were so good at killing stuff base game. I don't know. I just found that kind of funny. Like, why are they pierce? Like that... You know, maybe Dragon Hammer and stuff like that, I can see it's basically a giant pickaxe, but... Hi there, Vin, just got your email. Alright. Then figure out how that timestamp goes. Yeah, one thing I found out recently, apparently Talons versus Claws, it's unclear. experts don't know what their actual distinction is. It's like, it's situational. It's nothing to actually do with the claw, it's more to do with the bird. Or talon, or, you know, not, whatever. I'm just gonna shut up now. The thing with the people doing things where they use their brain for words that sound smart. That one. That's the difference. How dare you? I'm gonna go punch out your wizard for that. Merciless Steve. Just love how he's becoming ridiculous in this one pretty quick, too. Actually, it's a little bit like the KOL run so far. I mean, so far, we're basically just riding off of unusual stats for this point in the game, so hopefully that continues. Just shoot forward, thank you. No, all things considered, it's a little funny now that I think about it. So 30 is kind of the tip-over point for New Game Plus and all that, right? When it comes to when it comes to that tip-over point, base game, it was not soon enough. Like, base game, the tip-over point probably should have been around 20-ish to start scaling. Nice. Fully intentional. Meant to do that. Yeah, the tip-over point should have probably been around 20, 25-ish, because people would actually get to that point before the end of the game. Like, 30 was relatively unlikely. Usually, like, 20 to 25... that's roughly where I'd find most of my runs, you know, towards the end there. So I don't know. Kind of wonder how different it would have been if they left the tip over point there, because then they would also be one tier lower, meaning that they would also essentially scale in less of a mind-blowing manner. Just because when I'm saying mind-blowing, I mean like literally one of the points. If you're going with a two-class type thing in base game, you can find yourself in a position wherein you get to Crit Knight Castle, and you're in the second fight, so there's no longer an option to retreat, and you're left with no option other than to try and beat it with level 1s, because they suddenly become immune to damage. And I don't mean that in a, you know, oh, it's just more difficult, they're only taking 10s kind of thing. I mean, you're literally dealing 1s. And debuffs have no chance to hit because there's suddenly a very sharp increase in what equipment's available to them. So, because of the fact that it tips over, goes to its whole New Game Plus thing, it just basically means it scales to your level, and level 30 gear is like Palace of the Dead stuff. So, that's kind of where that issue ended up starting up. But it kind of makes me wonder, you know, if they scaled it a little bit lower, if they started the scaling lower, or hell, just started from the very start. As far as I can tell, the only reason that they might have potentially put it where it is because they want people to be able to have a chance to level up earlier on, you know, get an advantage over the game and all that. You know, they can't get past the spot, so they grind past it. It's just like FFT kind of stuff. Except in that one they did a little bit better, because the longer you ground, the more the game scaled up to you. And it did so in several different spots. He who fights alone. But why? No, seriously, why? Yes. Titles. I wouldn't. I didn't say that. Did it just make a choice for me? Whatever. Now, I just want to point out, they never actually went in. This is all happening in Steve's head, because they were denied entry. They're just standing outside angrily staring at the castle. But it's understood. It's absolutely understood. Dark Knights know that they can't take on Steve. He is too Stevie. Alright. How are we doing on time here? Kind of getting up there. Let's see, is there any new update to the shop? Yeah, there is. Yeah, so one of them... New sticks? No, but I do finally have these. Although the racism bonus doesn't really help much. There's no whips and there's no instruments yet. Because charm smackers would be pretty useful. Lobbers I don't see a need for because almost everyone's a caster. We got tomahawks for the sidearm people. As much as I want to use the bows, I'm almost wondering if sidearms make more sense. Because the bows have their charm move, but they basically have a shutdown move as a special later anyway. This would be slower, but they're not moving as much. I mean, they're kind of doing okay damage, and they've got a long-range charm later. What if I do shortbow and sidearm? Then they've got a really big equip weight. Alright, I can afford to upgrade one of these, so that's going on Steve. Steve gets all the best stuff because he is Steve. Alright, anyway. See you next time then.